Hey everyone, this is Nick from Mecha Warehouse, and today we're back with weekly update number 66. And let's just jump right into it. We'll start off with week in review, talk about what's been going on in the warehouse, things that are coming up, things like that. And I guess first off, we'll talk about this past week, the video we did on, it was actually Wednesday this week because of it coinciding with pre-orders, which I'll get to in a moment. We did a reaction video to the box testing video. We had everybody enter captions in the comments, and we basically did a reaction video to it. We actually filmed a couple skits. I think they came out quite well. I was quite happy and entertained by what we put out. Hopefully you were as well. If you watched it, if you didn't, you definitely should. There's some good stuff in there for sure. If you were one of the winners, I replied to your comment, and it was also in that video towards the end. Make sure you contact me if you haven't yet. I think most of the winners have so far, but just in case you didn't notice that, definitely get in touch with us. And yeah, let's move on. So next up will be an update on the Virtue. All right, MG Virtue is almost shipped. So this just in. So actually right before filming this, like literally right before, I noticed an email from my account executive. Our order has generated, meaning that our Virtues are at Bluefin waiting to be shipped, and they're in queue to get packed and sent out. So the good news there is that they are no longer on, or as we were kind of laughing about this morning, or in the ocean. They are now unloaded and will be on their way soon. They could still be several weeks before they ship. We've got several orders in queue before it that are due to us, but they're on the way. And the shipment, from what I've seen on this invoice, or not even an invoice, but the packing order, whatever you want to call it, is probably our largest or one of our largest shipments we've ever received. I'm looking forward to seeing how many pallets it is, but it's probably going to be a lot. And you just imagine a large quantity of Virtues in itself is a lot of inventory. So looking forward to that. Expect the pre-orders to hopefully go out in several weeks, if not sooner. But we'll find out for sure when we get the actual tracking number to know that they're on their way to us. That's usually the best indication that we know when things are going to happen, because things can kind of take their time sometimes getting out the door there. So next up, we're still working on ordering for Q2 of 2022. That's April through June. It's been quite a process. We've been spending a ton of time going through everything. We're about done with our first pass. We got to go through, massage some numbers, and put in some of the input, because we just received our confirmations for Q1, which is the January through March. Which actually were pretty good confirmations. We got a good amount of stuff. Obviously, we'd always want more than what we got, because they're cutting back from what we actually asked for. But it does seem like we are getting a little bit more each time, and we're putting that feedback into our ordering decisions coming forward. Seems like a lot more items are actually being printed this time around, and over a much larger set of different products, which is good to know. Also, I should let you know that on the Discord, for those of you who are Discord members, we posted a list of all the kits that we have gotten confirmations for, and that means that those items should be coming in over the next few months. January through March really means production in January through March, so the January items are being produced or have just recently been produced and are on their way. So we can expect them probably in maybe a month or two. If you think about it, Virtue was late November when it was produced, or at least released in Japan, and it's now late January. So that's already two months behind at the moment, and it's probably going to be another several weeks till it arrives. So all that January through March stuff you can expect to probably see here, I don't know, somewhere between March and, I don't know, May, something like that. Hopefully sooner. This also kind of leads me to want to talk about pre-orders, because with the confirmations means that we will have new pre-orders that we published on Wednesday, actually. Basically, the way we do pre-orders is we only ever publish them and offer them for sale once we get confirmations. This set is actually a really good example of it because there were several items that looked like they were going to be really popular, or I thought they were going to be really popular, that they didn't give us a confirmation for. They're just, as far as I know, not making them, or maybe there are so many of they're making few enough of them and the demand was high enough or something that they decided not to give them to us. I'm leaning towards they aren't going to produce them and maybe they'll show up on a future order sheet. We'll find out, I guess. I don't know how to know for sure without asking. I'm still waiting for information on some of those. But we only offer pre-orders for things that we get confirmations for. So that way, when you place a pre-order with Mecha Warehouse, you know it's basically a guarantee that you're going to get it because it's not just a guess. We don't post our pre-orders the second a kit gets announced because it's impossible to know how many we'll get, and we don't want to oversell things and have to cancel orders or disappoint people and delay orders any more than we have to, especially considering how long things are delayed as it is. So with all that said, let's talk about the set of pre-orders that we just posted up. There's some really good stuff in this round of pre-orders. First off, the Master Grade Dom and Rick Dom. They're basically a 1.5 version of the Master Grade. I don't know a ton about them other than that they look cool, and the 1.5 is supposed to be a solid improvement over the previous kits. So expect to see those, early next year. Pre-orders are up for those. There are also some more AMAM, the Warrior at the Borderline kits as well. Murin, the Brady Hound, I think, was another one. There's a full mechanics version of the Kembu, I think. Some good looking stuff there. Some more Digimon kits and Pokemon. Some more Kamen Rider, the Kuga Pegasus form. There are several Batmobiles, Batman Begins, and then there's one that there was no image provided, tentative, new item A tentative. We're not sure which one that's from. Our guess is maybe it's from the new Batman movie, but it could be from something else. I'm not too sure. There's some new Pokemon kits, the Cinder Ace and Jigglypuff. The new Exploring Lab Nature Mammoth, which looks interesting. Some more Ultraman, Armor of Legends items, Ultima Gear Gold Sarcophagus for the Millennium Puzzle. I talked about Digimon, there's Magnamon, Imperial Dramon, Paladin Mode, Stork Carrier for the AMAM stuff, Figure Standard, Amplified Beelzemon, another Digimon kit. And we also have put up for the I really can't, I don't want to skip over that either. The entry grade Strike Gundam. So we also have for the first time three, I think actually, Gundam Universe figures that are up for pre-order as well. Those are basically like action figures of the Gundams. So if you want a kit to build, they're not the thing for you. But if you want an actual like action figure kind of thing, that would be worth looking into. And we also put up a new Mega House set. Principality of Zeon, Team Ramba Raw with gift. So Ramba Raw and a table and a soldier and what was her name? It's been a while. But anyway, we got a bunch of new pre-orders, so definitely worth checking out. Some of those we didn't have many available for. I think we've already sold out of one or two pre-orders at this point. Some of the other ones we have plenty of, but if you want to guarantee that you get one, I would jump on that. And don't forget to use pre-order 10 on pre-orders, and you can save 10%. And that's always listed at the top of our pre-order page. That code is always valid. So just in case you weren't aware. Let's move on and talk about restocks this week, though. So restocks, we don't have any kits, or at least I don't think we have any kits. None of them have been here and checked in yet. I expect some to arrive after we film this. And it just depends on what time they arrive and if we're able to check them in time or not. But what we do have for sure is Delpy decal. And with that comes a few items we haven't had before. We've had these LEDs before, but not the rainbow color version. So I think it just gives you either multiple choices for the color or something like that for the LED. As well as some more metal parts. There's some metal parts for the I believe the new and high new Verkaz. These are actually, looks like they might be manufactured by another company. I'm not sure. I think Side 3 Hobby is listed on this one. This one doesn't actually say. Fun fact, any of the Delpy detail parts that we have up on the site are really from other manufacturers, and they're just our supplier for them. We also received a gun primer restock. No new gun primer tools, but gun primer is always popular. Some good stuff in that shipment, so worth checking out. And then finally, introducing for the first time, we have a new line of decals. These are G Rework, another Korean decal manufacturer. They're packaged quite nicely. I've heard what I would call mixed reviews on some of their decals. I've heard some issues with sizing and the like, where they don't always fit perfectly. And I think if you're used to Delphi decal, they might be a step down, but they might be a good option if there's a decal that wasn't available. And honestly, I've never tried them myself, so I can't say. I just know what I've seen about them. We've got some limited quantities of all of the G Rework decals we got in. If you use them before, definitely let me know what you think of them. That feedback would be great as we look to expand our offerings and carry more. We also got from them a pair of visual books. I should open these so I can flip through them, but they're basically like step through some technical stuff through a build, how to use different kinds of tools. Looks like on this first one, plot plate, plastic beam, panel lining, chisels, guide tape, how to use files, part lining, art knife, nipper, enamel thinner, lacquer painter, clip, masking tape, metal tape. So it looks like it's got a bunch of essentially instructionals as they work through, and a lot of great pictures. I haven't really been able to check these out. I don't want to open them because we only got a few of them in, and I want to make sure that they're available to ship out. But if you've got feedback on those as well, post them down in the comments. I'd love to hear about what people think about these things, because they're new products for us. And that's basically it for restock. So finally, let's move on to Q&A. So Q&A, this is where I answer questions from you, the viewer. If you've got a question you would like answered about Mecha Warehouse, myself, Gunpla, whatever it might be, post it down in the comments below, and I'll try to answer it next week. First up, Galactic Emperor. Question: how many number 57 kits from Creative Field will you guys get in stock as they sell? So all of them, whichever ones they produce, we will likely get. I know we have one other one on order, and that's the, I think it's a frog or something like that. Frog something. We'll try to post a picture or something up here of which one it is. And any other ones that they produce, we will definitely post as well, or offer up as well as they come around. Next up, 0195. Have you ever built an older kit of any line that has held up better than you thought would, despite its age? And inversely, has there been a modern kit made within the past 10 years that you have built that was just terrible? Bad articulation, bad color choices, lack of features, etc. And would you not really recommend to anyone? This is a great question. Honestly, though, in terms of new kits, I don't know that there's many kits that I've built that I wouldn't recommend. The only one I usually tell people to steer away from is the really old high-grade Zaku. It's just not a very stable build, but it's older than 10 years, I believe. I think it was early 2000s, maybe late 90s that it was designed. And in terms of older kits that stand up really well, I don't know, what's the oldest kit that I've built that was good? I don't even know if there's anything. What have I built that's old? I don't know. Maybe some of the older, the master grade wing kits, some of the early ones are relatively old, but they're still just around that 10-year mark. And so I would expect them to be good anyway. So unfortunately, I don't have a better answer than that, because I haven't built anything that's really sucked that was new, or anything that was really amazing that's old, because I haven't built that many old things, I guess. And I think that is all I have for questions this week. So like I said before, if you have a question you want answered, post it down in the comments below, and we'll catch you next time. Later.